forensic science, cybersecurity, a driver's permit, and a whole new math routine. This is our 10th grade homeschool year, and it looks nothing like last year. Hey guys, it's Vani from Mrs. Mom's Homeschool, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I've been making homeschool videos for a long time now. I've been homeschooling since 2012, and I make videos to help you on your homeschooling journey. And today we're talking about 10th grade. In this video, you're going to see my son's core subjects, the electives that he's taking at our homeschool co-op, our first semester support plan, our college readiness goals, how we're going to practice independence in practical ways, and how we are going to get ready for college and career exploration. So let's dive into what I've chosen for my son and why. After I show you the curriculum, stick around on how I am going to create this year to be a bridge year between our more relaxed Charlotte Mason style homeschool and a more structured independence college readiness homeschool. As I talk about the curriculum, I'm going to just give you a quick flip through so you can see it. But if you want any detailed reviews on any of these things, I will link the ones that I do have in the description below, and any ones I don't, I can make those for you guys. So just post it in the comments. Let's start with Bible. Studying the Bible and having time with God has unfortunately not been in the forefront of our homeschool. But as time progresses and the world is getting crazier, I understand how close we could be to Christ's return, which is what I believe in. Either way, it's important that as my kids get older and are leaving the nest, for them to be strong in their faith, because they're going to be encountering lots of temptation and lots of false teachings out there in the world and online. So this year I wanted to make it a priority, and I was trying to figure out how can I do a Bible study with the three of us, my sixth grader, my 10th grader, and myself. And so going to the convention, I remembered the Not Consumed Ministries. And I was looking through their website and I found the set that is about the spiritual disciplines. I want my kids to learn how to spend time with God on their own, how to pray, how to worship, how to share the gospel, and how to live like Jesus did. So each study, you can order the parent guide, and then for each age group. So for my son, I got the youth package, and it has many books for each of the topics. It came in like this bundle, and it has more than one Bible study in it. So the plan is to start our mornings after breakfast, calmly doing the Bible study together, like independently, and then coming together to discuss it. Last year, our co-op workload took up so much time and energy that math didn't get the consistent attention it needed. That's not a failure. It's just, it is what it is. It's what happens when you're in survival mode. And so this year, I'm making room for math again. And we're starting with Algebra 1 this semester, so I can sit with him, see exactly where he's at, and rebuild that rhythm properly before we move forward. This isn't about catching up. It's about making sure that the foundation is solid before we build onto it. For those of you that have been with me for a long time know that I have used the good and the beautiful for my son since he was in first grade. But this year, we are trying for the first time essentials in writing and essentials in literature. They're two separate subjects, but you can buy the bundle to combine them both, because one teaches literature analysis and the other teaches how to write. The curriculum that I used last year at the co-op was primarily book-based, whereas the one that we're going to use now has short video lessons that teach my son what to do, followed by workbook assignments. So I don't want you to confuse EIW with IEW. IEW is a totally different curriculum. EIW and EIL is what I'm talking about today. In comparison with the good and the beautiful, EIW and EIL feel more focused and traditional, with fewer unrelated subjects blended into language arts. Science. So last year, my son had biology at the co-op, and he used Apology of Science, which was the first time we used Apology of Science because we were doing the good and the beautiful. And that is a big jump. I recommend not doing that. I recommend that if you're going to use Apologia after something that's lighter, that you use like a bridge curriculum or something, maybe like master books or something like that. So he won't be taking chemistry for 10th grade. I'll have him do that in 11th. So for this year, we're going to do something fun, and we are going to do forensic science, from master books. So I'm going to walk you through this just a little bit. Really, I'm not going to explain the curriculum itself. I'm just going to explain more why I decided to use this versus another science. So I wanted science to be something that my son actually looked forward to instead of something that he just gets through. We landed on master books forensic science curriculum because it's not just facts and definitions, and it's set up like real investigations. It's actually very cool. He's going to be looking at evidence, learning about fingerprint analysis, blood splatter, toxology, even how crime scenes get processed. And it reads more like solving a mystery than studying for a test. At this age, I think teenagers want to feel like their learning actually matters, like it's connecting to something real. And forensic science does that. It's biology, chemistry, and critical thinking all wrapped into something that feels more like a documentary than a textbook. And I know some of you might wonder, is this rigorous enough for high school science? It still covers real scientific method, lab style activities, and core concepts he needs. It's just delivered in a way that keeps him curious instead of checked out. Rigor and enjoyment don't have to cancel each other out. So that's exactly what I meant when I say I want a structure without losing the joy. Forensic science lets me check a science box for 10th grade, but it also gives him something to actually get excited about opening on a Monday morning. For history, guys, I gotta be honest, I have never finished a homeschool or like any history with any of my kids. For history, we're using world history through master books. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit and flip through it. Nothing too detailed. I just want you to get to see it for yourselves and why I'm using it. So I love that this doesn't just hand him a list of dates and battles to memorize, and it actually weaves historical events together with a biblical worldview. So he's seeing how faith, culture, history all connect instead of feeling like two separate subjects. I really want all of his subjects to be from our Christian worldview. At this stage, I just don't want him memorizing facts either for a test. I want him to start thinking critically about why events happened the way that they did. And Masterbooks does a good job of prompting that kind of thinking instead of just testing recall. Okay, so like I said, since he is in high school and he is college bound, we are required to fulfill a certain amount of credits. And one of those is language. And of course, being Puerto Rican, and not being as fluent as I should be, I decided on Spanish. And this year we're going with a curriculum called Breaking the Barriers Spanish. And you may have seen it. It's the last video that I posted, a deep review and walkthrough on this curriculum. Yeah, so if you want to really see inside of here, just go ahead and check out that video. So this now we're going to go into, did we do all his core? Yeah, so now we're going to do the electives. And this one I was supposed to use last year, but we didn't get to do anything that, like hardly anything that I had planned last year. So he's going to be doing Master Books Introduction to Logic as one of his electives. And I'm actually really excited about this. So let me show you it real quick. I think it's going to end up being one of the most useful things that he learns this year. And I really think he's going to like it because he's a very logical kid and he's a thinker. And it's not because of a test score, but because of how it's going to shape the way that he thinks. So if you flip through it with me, you can see that it's laid out in lessons that build on each other, starting with really basic reasoning skills and working up to identifying logical fallacies and constructing solid arguments, which he really doesn't need right now to learn how to argue well. It's not dry at all. There are actually examples and exercises where he has to apply what he's learning, not just what he read about. So like at this age, I don't want him to just be absorbing information. I want him learning how to evaluate, how to tell the difference between a strong argument and a weak one, how to spot when someone's trying to manipulate an argument, and how to build his own case clearly. And this actually ties right back to everything we talked about with college prep, because it's not just about content knowledge anymore. And at this stage, it's about how he processes and defends information, which is exactly what logic is training him to do. I told you guys that I'd explain why I kept calling this a bridge year. So let me actually walk you through that. Last year was survival. With everything our family was walking through, we were doing the bare minimum just to get through. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, because sometimes the bare minimum is what keeps the family going. But this year's going to be different. This year is rebuilding. We finally have the stability and are intentional again, and we're able to rebuild our rhythm, rebuild our routines, and rebuild the parts of homeschooling that got set aside while we were just trying to survive. And that's really what I meant when I call this a bridge year. It's not the finished version of high school yet. It's not the full independence either. It's a year where he's rebuilding the skills, the stamina, and the structure that he's going to need before he gets those last 2 years and eventually college. Last year we survived, and this year we rebuilt. And don't worry, we're almost done the video, but don't go anywhere yet because I want to talk about some more practical things that he's also going to be doing. I know this video is long, but it's completely worth it. One thing that's very much part of this rebuilding season, even though it's not a traditional subject, is studying for his driver's permit. And honestly, I think that this fits right into everything that we've been talking about with independence, because learning to drive is really its own crash course and responsibility. And we're going to be using the state study guide alongside practice tests. And he will be working through it on his own timeline. Once he finishes preparing for his driver's permit test, we're going to add something completely different this year, a cybersecurity program. And I want to be clear that this isn't because I've decided that he's going to be a cybersecurity expert. It's just exploration. This is just us testing the waters that I mentioned earlier, that the forensic science might tell us something about what kind of subject that he actually gravitates towards. Investigation, problem solving, figuring things out. Cybersecurity is kind of the same idea, just in a completely different direction. And I'm going to I'm going to link the website in the description below. I'm going to talk about the co-op classes really quickly that he's going to be taking. He's going to be taking an art class, a drawing class that covers everything from basic shapes and shading to perspective, portraits and color theory, wrapped with their annual art show, which is actually really cool. They dress up and they get to share all of their art. And I did this because I see that he has taken to drawing here and there. So we'll see. He's taking the culinary creations class for teens. I want my son to be able to cook just like his father does and not be one of those men who expects their wives to come home and cook for every meal. It would be nice for him to be able to do that for her instead. And then another class that we're taking, which I'm really excited about because I've been hoping and praying for something like this throughout his life, for him to learn these things. And it's a class that's brand new out of co-op, and it's called Life Skills Fix It, Build It, Make It. And it's a hands-on class with basic home repair tools, plumbing and electric safety, practical real-world skills, building that fits right into his rebuilding season. Because like I keep saying, this is just really going to help him prepare for life and running a home. Okay, guys, so that's our full 10th grade lineup this year. If you're in a season of survival right now, I want you to hear this. The season doesn't disqualify you from what you're rebuilding later. It's actually often what gets you there. And I hope that you guys got something out of this video. If you're walking through your own bridge year, whatever that looks like for your family, I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below for other moms to see. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to see it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.